can just turn the mobile, and then they can see the full map as it is. Just gives them a little bit more opportunity if they feel that it's a little bit easier to play that way. And of course, that's a new feature which obviously you couldn't do back in the day, as well. But as I say, the other features that we're sort of looking at is obviously adding continues to the game, which is obviously something you get on PlayStation games and all sorts of stuff as well, which is good. The ability now to collect extra lives, which you couldn't do as well, and as well as numerous other little features, which doesn't detract from the original game, but it's just going to help that user along a little bit more, encourage them to actually play a bit more.
Oh, awesome. So you've got a background in developing apps. Tell us a bit more about how did you get into developing apps, and what was your first project, and
Well, my full background is started in the games industry in 1991. Worked with Argonaut Software, and basically started as a junior artist of Argonaut Software and sort of worked my way up through the industry. I've been sort of art director for sort of 3 other companies, as well as running their sort of technical teams. That's from designers, producers, the lot. So I've done stuff for Super Nintendo right the way up to sort of PlayStation 2, and then, as I say, I had a break from the industry. It's only because I went into more sort of with my own business, Swivel, to do sort of more software web development stuff, because that's the way the industry is changing. As soon as games started merging with the web, I was getting more interested in what the web was doing. I felt it was a good time to actually come out of the industry, because, as I say, back then it was, there was a hell of a lot of, it was just like big publishers. Now everything's now more about home development, again.
Yeah, well,
it's all about
the indie scene's back, and they're probably stronger than ever, if anything.
Yeah, everything's sort of come full circle. And of course, as I say, when I was doing stuff on mobile, I've worked on about 40 mobile games as well. So I've done lots and lots of stuff for companies like Disney, Atatio, Informa, Lightplay, loads of people like that as well. Lots and lots of developers. Some of the games I've done, oh god, trying to think some of the games I've done from the very beginning. So Scooby-Doo Mystery on SNES, King Arthur's World, Creature Shock, I'm just trying to think now, Queenie Eye, which is Electronic Arts. I've done Hitchhiker's Guide to Galaxy.
As a UK man, that's got to be a passion project, almost, being able to do a Hitchhiker's Guide, right?
Yeah, it was really good actually, and we went to the premiere as well, so it was also good. It was another little bonus, But as I say, it was a very challenging project, because we were doing it on Symbian back then, so there was like 30 different screen sizes, and it was really tricky to port all the graphics down, and trying to get everything into sometimes it was getting into 1 megabyte, the whole game was almost impossible, but no, it was good. It's a good challenge, and it's but as I say, the beauty of it now is that you can develop now on iOS and Android, and now the doors are open now for porting to things like Nintendo Switch and other things like that, because of everything's a little bit more closer now in terms of the actual the platforms.
So after Bounder, the game comes out, you port it to the Switch if it all goes to plan. Are you looking at continuing doing more retro titles, or is there another project that you wanted to get into?
Yeah, no, it's a very good question. Because I've got this good relationship with Ian now, and he's really, really pleased with the work that we're doing. If everything works out well with Bounder, then we certainly could look at sort of opening up the back catalogue of Gremlin.
Yeah.
So
is there anything else in their back catalogue that you really want to get your hands into?
Yeah, there's a few actually. Oh god, Finger on a Spring, which is quite a big title. Trailblazer as well, which I think would port really, really well to mobile. But again, I think the rights on that is a little bit more complex. But yeah, I mean, there's obviously, one of the biggest ones that everyone remembers, obviously, is Monty Mole, stuff like that as
Yeah, yeah,
well, and Zool, and so there's quite a few. I mean, if you look at Gremlin's back catalogue, it's just immense.
yeah.
Amount of #1 games that they had was incredible.
Well, the
So
entire UK scene, when it came to development back then, it was almost the hub of the Western sort of game scene.
mhm,
I mean, Rare came out of the UK, if I'm understanding right.
yep,
Yeah, and
that's correct.
yeah, a whole bunch of stuff. So, is there any other? If you could get your hands into any other publisher stuff, is there any like one UK brand that you'd love to sort of get hold of?
Oh God, I say my real passion is obviously is shoot 'em up. So if I was able to actually get hold of any of the licenses, then it would be some classic Mega Drive and
Yeah,
PC Engine shoot 'em ups,
yeah,
and try and port those over to the likes of mobile and Switch and stuff like that. Of course, a lot of those again is owned by companies like Tecmo and things like
yeah.
that, and they're or Konami. So
Well, I mean, we
um,
have seen big companies before allowing sort of independent developers to take control of projects. I mean, it's taken how many years to get a good Sonic the Hedgehog game, and the guy that managed to make a good Sonic the
it's
Hedgehog
true.
game after all these years was an Australian indie developer who
Yeah,
created a Java game that was amazing. So, it's all possible.
yeah, it is. I mean, as I say, it's because this relationship I've got with Ian, and of course Ian knows everybody in the industry as well.
It's a
I'm
small industry,
sure
though, isn't it?
it is.
Yeah,
It really is. It really is now. I think again because of the way that mobile has pulled everything together again.
yeah,
I think it's not only brought a lot of people out of the woodwork, like myself, if you know what I
yeah.
mean. Again, that's got interested in to redeveloping again. But yeah, a lot of the industry has, it's really opened up the actual doors, not only for retro gamers, but obviously as I say for homebrew, and
Yeah,
everything's accessible now, which it wasn't sort of back years ago. I mean, for example, when we were doing development for Nintendo, and we had like obviously PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 licenses.
yeah,
Just for the development kits, cost a fortune back then.
yes,
Um, Nowadays, all you need is a Mac or a PC, and that's it, and an emulator, and you're away. And it's really sort of giving that control back to developers. That's for sure.
yeah. So, how far along are you with Bounder, and are you on target to release when on time, or?
Yeah, well, we was looking to release at the end of this month, but we feel like there's we can offer more to gamers. So we're looking at doing a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo or both, a
Hmm.
crowdfunding campaign, to offer more to gamers, of Bounder. So we're looking to offer really unique merchandise, which is some of it's never been seen or before. Stuff like it's sort of exclusive artwork, exclusive posters, an ebook with loads of history about Bounder, as well as Gremlin graphics and unseen photos and
Yeah,
um, developer guides. We've also teamed up with Mark Hardesty, which is who wrote the book Gremlin in the Works as well.
yeah,
So we're going to be offering that as part of the package too, as well as giving people the ability, depending on what they pledge as well, to actually become part of the development team as well. So to help us with the actual testing, to help us with some of the additional features that is going to go into the actual version. So it may actually delay us by 5-6 weeks maybe, but
yeah.
we're still looking to get it out sort of April, May time, I would say, but depending on the success of the crowdfunding campaign.
Well, let us know when the Kickstarter or the Indiegogo is available. We'd be more than happy to share it and get the local scene
Brilliant.
here involved.
Great stuff. No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. So one last thing before we call it a night or call it a morning for yourself. Um, Where can people find out more about Bounder, and is there any socials that people can follow?
Yeah, so we're on Facebook and we're on Twitter. The Twitter one seems to be more popular because of the connection with retro gamers. There's a and so it's at Bounder_mobile for Twitter. On simply on Facebook, just search for Bounder itself or Bounder C64, and then you'll see our page. And the website is bounder.mobi.
Oh, awesome.
And, on the website, sort of, as I say, it's got all of our press releases. It's got, soon to go on there, which is going to be obviously more of our sort of developer guide, and of course more stuff we're doing with this crowdfunding as well. The website will evolve because of that as well. So people will be able to see, everything regarding Bounder, sort of on the website or on socials. So, but yeah, they need to just come connect with us, and we're more than happy to answer anyone's questions as well if they want to connect.
Yeah.
Have a chat.
So before I go, I did notice earlier in the interview you really lit up when I just mentioned the Commodore 64 Mini. You got a smile on your face, your eyes lit up. You're excited for this?
Yeah, very much so. I think because it's kind of the release of it is going to tie in really nicely with our game Bounder as well, because obviously Bounder is featured on the C64 Mini.
Yeah.
And when I was on Twitter the other night, I was looking at Jeff Minter's profile, and someone tagged me in on this because Jeff had the C64 Mini. Obviously, he's got the prototype there, and he was running Bounder on through HDMI, and it, obviously in 1080, and it just looked absolutely fantastic, So of course, sort of someone tagged me, and then loads of other people have commented stuff like that as well. I didn't know what it was at first, 'cause obviously I was checking on my mobile, so I got onto the Mac and had a look, and it just looked brilliant,
Yeah.
So of course, I think that again, it's not only the C64 Mini is going to relate to retro gamers, but I think it's that sort of it's that whole feeling of reliving your youth again, but having something that's really cool at the same time, So yeah, I'm really excited about it. I'm really, really excited. I have to say, I will be getting myself a C64 Mini as well, when it's released.
I'm hoping to get my hands on it. Like I said, I think for me it was my first ever experience on a PC, was my brother's C64. And I was actually explaining to somebody in the office the other day that back then there was two ways of getting games for your computer. There was going to a shop and getting a disc, or buying a magazine and getting the code and coding it yourself, writing the entire game out. And the concept of having to work that hard for a game was just lost on the person in the office.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, back then, just the excitement of being able to actually write some code and then running that code and getting something on the screen was incredible.
Yeah, definitely.
And what it did, that with it just started the games industry. I mean, it was it was incredible, really.
Yeah, exactly.
How it all started.
All right, thanks so much.
I was definitely. Yeah, no problem at all. No problem at all. Thank you very much for for having us and doing this interview. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem. And this will be available if you've missed the start of the stream. This will be available on YouTube in the next couple of days, and of course on goto.game where you can find the original story we've done on the Bounder app, as well as the C64 as well, if you want to find out some more information on that. And we'll upload this as a VOD as well onto Twitch later on. Thanks so much for your time, mate.
Brilliant. Okay. Yeah, no problem. And I'll keep you posted with regard to the crowdfunding we're doing, and I'll send you a copy of the game soon as well.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Appreciate that.